Hello friends, thanks for coming and visiting another one of Z-Man's videos here. Here on the Zombie Preparedness channel. We're going to look at a couple of saws today. We have the Gerber Gator 3 and we have a SaberCut. Both very good products, and we're going to see some of their pluses and their drawbacks. So let's look at our SaberCut first. The SaberCut is a pocket chainsaw, and pocket chainsaws are pretty simple. They like to kink up a little bit, so you have to play with them and get them unkinked. That's a little bit of a drawback, but not much. Now, chainsaws have two different kinds of teeth, and we're going to try and show this to you. This is a gouge tooth. You can see that it's got kind of a hook shape to it, and that's what causes it to be a gouge. If it were more straight, then it would be a chisel tooth. Now, notice this is the tooth, and this is the depth gauge. So that controls how deep the tooth is biting. And you see that's not a whole lot, which is a good thing. You don't need to have a great big bite on your sawtooth. So these are nice because it's going to gouge and make cuts. Unlike a chainsaw blade that you would have on a gasoline powered chainsaw, this SaberCut has teeth that are pointing both ways, so it's going to cut in both directions, and it's not really alternating there at all. I thought that was well, they alternate back and forth some. Anyway, that's what you need for cutting both ways, so that you got cuts on with each pull of your arms. Now we're going to spend some time with the Gerber Gator. Really nice carrying pouch for this. We have several parts. We've got the handle. Notice Gerber's really proud about having this E-ring on their bolt, so that you can't have the wing nut come off. That's our handle. And then we have the elements of the bow, and these fit in just like so, nice and ingenious, and that forms the bow. And then you're going to have a blade, and the blade hooks on just like in any chainsaw, any hacksaw fashion. So it comes with 3 blades. We're only going to look at 2 because I disposed of the third one. This is a nice coarse cutting blade, and this is a fine cutting blade. They recommend using this one for softwoods. It's just a coarse cut blade, and they recommend using this one for hardwoods and bone, and it's just a fine cutting blade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8 or 10 TPI, and this is 3 or 4 TPI. So it just gives you an idea. Now, the third blade that came with it was a chainsaw blade. Now, it wasn't really that much of a chainsaw. It had teeth similar to this blade. So it was a regular saw teeth. The only difference was it was teeth on a chain. So that's what those extra bars are, because that chain would have extended all the way out like this, giving you a nice 18-20 inch saw blade. Problem is that where these links are really nicely riveted together, it's nice and strong and it doesn't get much tension. The chainsaw blade, I'm sorry Gerber guys, you kind of dropped the ball on that one, because it took very little torsion to break it. So this is the blade for that came with the Gerber Gator 3. You see it's a lot thinner. The rivets aren't as nice, and we're going to close up on this blade here. It's just regular saw teeth. It's not even chainsaw teeth. So yeah, the key thing was it just had no ability to take the flex, and so this connector piece snapped off of the link real fast. You know, no difference in the rivets, just yeah, it just couldn't hold up to it. So come on Gator guys, or Gerber guys, let's get this let's get a real chainsaw blade for your excellent saw. And once broken, it wasn't usable for anything. So really nice length there, and if the blade were usable, like if the blade had been nice and strong like the SaberCut blade, then we'd have a really super tool here. Now it's a great tool, don't get me wrong. I really like this, and I'm using it a lot, but that chainsaw blade was just a real disappointment. So while we're talking about its chainsaw, that's what these little rings are for, where the SaberCut has these bands. The Gerber had just kind of the hole for mounting on the saw, which is understandable, and then these hooks to put in there. And I found that to be a little awkward, and we'll see the difference. See how nice the SaberCut is when we get that far. Alright, so let's us have a look at how the SaberCut works. Remember, it likes to kink up, so you often have to play around with your blade and get it straightened up. Handles. And it's just that nice sawing motion. And it takes very little time to get most of the way through a 4-inch piece of wood. Now, what we're going to see is a drawback here. As we get to the end, it really doesn't want to cut very well. And you can just stomp that down and break it though. So there we go. Pretty easy cut. It's 3, maybe 4 inches. So We'll toss that up there. Now, a nice comparison cut. We'll do a nice comparison cut here. And I think this is poplar. So you can see we're having a bit more effort. We cut a little wedge here. Keep my kerf open. Oops, the wedge fell out. That kerf wants to close and that'll bind the blade. Alright, a bit different. A good bit of flex in a blade like this. You'll notice that the saw blade skewed off there. No big deal if you're cutting firewood, but cut like that isn't so wonderful if you're building for lumber. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, Z-Man, you're out here in the woods. You're just cutting firewood. Well, you know, I really do expect to use these tools to do construction with. So, there we go. Two really nice saws. We got our Gerber Gator 3 and our kinky little, kinky SaberCut. And, I'm really pleased with these. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed seeing these two saws. And just remember, when you're coming out to the forest, be safe. And yeah, the knowledge in your head, it doesn't weigh anything, and it doesn't take up any room in your pack.